Most men don't realize the comfort they cling to is actually a silent prison, keeping them blind. You think you're a creature of ambition, a builder, a man on the hunt for more. You believe your decisions are your own, driven by a clear-eyed vision of success and a desire for genuine connection. But that's the first illusion, the one you were handed the moment you learned to stand tall. The truth is far more intimate, far more unsettling. Look at Daniel. You know a Daniel. Maybe you are Daniel. He worked a soulless job, trading his days for a promotion he told himself he wanted. He chased a woman named Sarah, a woman who seemed perfect, a symbol of the life he was supposed to have. He believed this was a pursuit of happiness, of fulfillment. But late at night, when the house was quiet and the only sound was the slow drip of rain on the window, he would feel a hollow echo inside his chest, a quiet, unnamed fear. That's the feeling, you know it. The moment you're alone with your own thoughts and the carefully constructed narrative of your life begins to crack, hidden deep within every decision Daniel made, every ambition he chased, was an unnamed fear. This isn't an evil nature, it's not something to fix, it's the invisible thread orchestrating his relationships, his status, and his every attempt at control. It's the fear of being small, of being invisible, of being forgotten. It's the primal instinct to prove his worth, not to himself, but to the ghosts of men who came before him and the silent audience he imagined watching his every move. The promotion wasn't about the money, it was about the title, the weight of the name on the door that promised importance. The woman wasn't about love, she was about winning, about possessing a prize that would validate his own sense of worth. You were taught to call this drive or ambition. You were told these are the virtues of a strong man. But the words are a distraction. They draw your focus away from the true engine below the surface. What if the very things you believe make you strong are the most profound weaknesses you possess? What if the desire to be the provider is simply the deep-seated terror of being left behind? What if the pursuit of the perfect woman is just a desperate attempt to fill a void you can't even name? This isn't about blaming you or judging you, it's about seeing the architecture of your own mind. It's about shining a light on the blueprints you were never meant to see. You are a product of these unseen forces. They have shaped your desires, your fears, your every interaction. They make you believe you're in a race for power, when in reality, you're just running in a beautifully designed loop. The flickering light from a late-night screen, the low hum of the refrigerator, the silence, it all serves to create a perfect chamber for these unspoken truths. Welcome. Tonight, we expose the hidden corners of ambition, underlying motives, and inner battles. If you've ever felt a profound unease, an inexplicable urge to prove something to someone, stay, this is for you. Like this video, subscribe if you're ready to see the dark truth most men never face. The man you think you are is a story. The man you truly are is a collection of primal truths and unspoken desires. Take a slow breath, let's go deeper. They never told you that the qualities you are most drawn to in a woman are often the very ones designed to disarm your will. Take a moment, think about the one you chase or the one you chased. You were drawn to her quiet confidence, a certain elusive grace. You saw a mystery, a depth that felt like a challenge, a silent fortress you were compelled to breach. You told yourself this was an appreciation for strength, for a mind that was not easily swayed. But what if it was something far more primal? What if that mystery was a meticulously crafted lure, and that grace, a subtle form of leverage? The truly masterful ones don't control you with force, they don't manipulate with loud demands, they do it with silence, with absence, with a kind of passive magnetism that pulls you in until you are doing the work for them. They create a void, a subtle distance that your male instinct, your hunter's psychology, interprets as a challenge. And so you fill it, you offer compliments, you make plans, you overinvest, all to earn a response that you believe will validate you. You think you are pursuing her, but in reality, you are a puppet on her stage. Her silence makes you speak louder, her absence makes you crave her presence more. You find yourself bending your own rules, justifying your own irrational behavior, all to earn the very validation she refuses to give freely. It's a game of gravity. You are the mass, and she is the star. The closer you get, the more your own trajectory bends around her. This is not a conspiracy, but a psychological pattern. You are drawn to what seems to be in short supply. You value what you have to fight for. The woman who doesn't seem to need you, but quietly enjoys your efforts. She activates your deepest fears of being unworthy and your most primal desires to conquer. You are not pursuing her, you are running from your own fear. Your desire is the weapon, and you are the target. You are so busy chasing her, you never stop to ask yourself what you really want, or why you are so obsessed with proving yourself. But that's only the surface, because the real illusion, the true master of the game, doesn't exist outside of you. Every man thinks he's in control, until he realizes the very impulses he prides himself on are the strings of a masterful puppet show. You were just shown how her subtle grace and her quiet distance pull at your desire. But that's only half the truth, because the real puppeteer isn't her at all. It's the reflection you see in the glass, the man you were told you had to be. Look at the traits you consider your greatest strengths, your pride, your loyalty, your desire to protect. These aren't flaws, they're sacred tools given to you for a purpose. But what if they have been hijacked? The primal urge to protect your tribe is now an impulse to defend an ego that is constantly under threat. Your loyalty to a partner becomes a terrified refusal to be alone. Your ambition to lead is simply a frantic need to prove you are not a follower. These are not your conscious choices. They are deeply rooted, programmed responses that make you easy to predict. Think of it like a cold morning. You wake up and you feel a chill. You don't consciously decide to shiver, your body does it for you. It's an automatic response, a reflex. The same is true for your psychological world. You see a certain woman and your pride shivers. You face a certain challenge and your ego shivers. Your actions feel like your own, but they are just reflexes triggered by external stimuli. The illusion of control is so perfect because you believe you are the one pulling the strings, when in reality, you are just a well-trained actor responding to cues. The first crack in that control comes the moment you see the shiver for what it is. It's a moment of chilling clarity. You start to question your own motives. Why did I react that way? Why did I feel so compelled to prove myself? You're not just watching the puppet show anymore. You're looking down and seeing the strings attached to your own hands, and you realize they're not attached to your own mind, but to something much older. But what is the point of a puppet show, if not to distract you from the true reason you're afraid to look behind the curtain, and the secret shame that fuels every performance? Most men don't realize that the power they desperately seek is a desperate attempt to cover the very shame they run from. This shame isn't a memory of a mistake you made. It's not a single event. It's a foundational feeling, a cold weight in the pit of your stomach that whispers you are not enough. It whispers that you are a fraud, an imposter, and that at any moment, someone will discover the truth, and so you build. You build an impressive career, a fortress of a life, you acquire wealth, you chase respect, you seek a partner who is a symbol of your success. Every one of these pursuits feels like a conscious choice, an act of strength, but they are not. They are acts of desperation. They are bricks you lay over the hollow echo in your chest, hoping that if the wall is thick enough, the shame will finally be silenced. You were told that ambition is a virtue, that success is the ultimate measure of a man. But that's a brilliant deception. It's a distraction that keeps you looking outward, away from the quiet, internal battle. The man who is most obsessed with being seen as strong is almost always the one running from a profound inner weakness. The man who claims to want power is truly just terrified of being powerless. Your drive isn't to conquer the world, it's to conquer the part of you that feels fundamentally broken. The world knows this, the systems you live in, the people you interact with, they all sense this undercurrent of shame. They see the frantic energy, the insatiable need for validation, and they know how to use it. They know which buttons to push, which illusions to offer. They will give you the empty praise, the temporary status, the fleeting attention, anything to keep you building the walls, because a man who is building a fortress is too busy to notice that he is already a prisoner. And once you understand that your shame is the soil, you'll start to see how every one of your desires is a seed planted by the hand of another. What you call passion and lust is often a sophisticated psychological trap designed to manipulate your deepest desires against you. You think of lust as a fire, a beautiful and powerful force that burns from within. But what if it's a controlled burn, a small, contained flame that someone else has learned to light? The rush of desire, the obsession, the focus, it feels like freedom, a pure, untamed hunger. It's an intoxicating lie. Your shame is the vulnerability, your desire is the hook. They are two parts of a single, devastating equation. A man who feels fundamentally unworthy will chase the things that make him feel potent. He will confuse the temporary rush of conquest with genuine power. He will mistake the fleeting attention of a woman for true connection. And what you think is your deepest, most honest self, the man driven by his passions, is actually the most obedient part of you. You are chasing the very things that were dangled in front of you as a reward for staying on the path, for following the rules. Your desire becomes a blind spot. A beautiful, fiery curtain pulled over the parts of your life you are too afraid to confront. You become a fanatic, obsessed with the chase, convinced that if you can just possess this one thing, get this one woman, win this one victory, the shame will finally go away. But the shame is not the destination, it is the fuel. It burns hotter with every pursuit, every victory, every loss, because deep down, you know the prize is hollow. You know the chase is a distraction. This isn't about being bad or good, it's about being seen. You are transparent to those who understand the language of shame and desire. Your every action, every choice is broadcast to them. Your search for validation, your need for respect, your hunger for lust, it all tells them exactly who you are and, more importantly, what you will do. You believe you're navigating a complex world of relationships and power games, but you're simply running a pre-programmed loop, a slave to the very emotions you were told to trust. But what if the man who has been making all your choices isn't you at all? The man you've built, the one you show the world, is an elaborate prison built to contain the one part of you they told you to destroy. You created him for a reason. He is the provider, he is the protector, he is the man who always has the answer, who knows how to move in the world. He is a work of art, a magnificent lie. You sculpted him out of ambition and fear, and you gave him a name, a job, and a purpose. You believed you were becoming something great, but you were just building a cage. What they never told you is that there was already a man inside, a primal, authentic part of you. The part that felt too much, that wanted too crudely, that was not clean or polished or easily contained. It was the part of you that society, your family, and even your own fear demanded you kill, and so you buried it. You built the perfect man, brick by brick, with the singular purpose of keeping that raw, original man locked away. This is the dark realization. You are not who you thought you were, because the man you thought you were is just a guard, standing watch over your own truth. Every choice you made to be successful, every time you bit your tongue to avoid conflict, every moment you prioritized status over your own wild instinct, you were just strengthening the walls of your own prison. You thought you were seeking freedom, but you were just making the chains heavier, and now, with this truth hanging in the air, the prison feels different. The walls feel thinner, the air is still, but it's no longer comforting, it's cold. You can hear the prisoner, not with your ears, but deep inside your own mind. You hear the quiet, unsettling truth he has been trying to tell you. It's the echo you felt in the quiet moments, the feeling that you were missing something, that you were living a life that wasn't your own. It was a message from your own shadow, a cry for air. And once you've heard the truth, you're left with a choice: retreat back into the comfortable illusion, or face the quiet, unsettling burden of knowing that your entire life has been a performance. Once you see the strings, the world doesn't become simpler. It becomes a choice between living a comfortable lie or a quiet, unsettling truth. The first thing you'll feel is not relief, but a profound sense of loneliness. The man you built, the one who navigated the world with confidence and certainty, is gone. And in his place is a stranger, a man who looks at his own life and sees a performance he never asked to be a part of. The people around you, the life you built, the choices you made, they all feel hollow now, because they were built on a foundation of sand. This is the uneasy acceptance. The dread isn't from the outside world, it's from the inside. It's the realization that you have been living someone else's life, playing a part you didn't write, and that the person you thought you were doesn't actually exist. The room is quiet, the air is still, but inside your mind, the silence is a scream. You can't unsee the strings, you can't go back to the comfortable illusion of control, because you know what's waiting for you there. You know that peace was a lie. This isn't a moment of liberation. This is a moment of profound, uncomfortable clarity. You are no longer chasing the things you thought you wanted, because you now see them for what they are: rewards for being a good puppet. You find yourself standing in the ruins of your own identity, and for the first time, you are truly alone with yourself. Not the self you built, but the original man, the one who was buried. He has seen the destruction, and he is waiting. He's not here to save you, he's here to be heard. Most men run from this moment. They will dive back into the illusion, find new distractions, new pursuits, anything to avoid the quiet clarity of this internal abyss. They will choose the beautiful, gilded cage over the terrifying freedom of the open air, but you have already felt the shift, you've heard the echoes. But you can't simply lock that shadow away again, because the quiet, unsettling voice you've been hearing is the only part of you that's ever been truly honest. You can't kill your shadow, but you can learn to speak its language and use its wisdom without becoming its slave. For so long, you have treated that buried part of yourself as a disease, something to be eradicated. You tried to starve it with ambition, to drown it in work, to silence it with distraction. But a shadow cannot be killed. It only grows darker, thicker, and more demanding in the silent corners of your mind. And the more you tried to destroy it, the more it manifested in destructive ways, the unexplained bursts of anger, the self-sabotage, the unquenchable thirst for something you can't name. That wasn't the enemy you thought it was. That was the voice of the man you buried, desperately trying to get your attention, trying to warn you. He speaks in a language of raw instinct, of primal truths, of desires that were too ugly for the man you built. Now you have a choice. You can continue the war, knowing you will lose, or you can sit down at the table and negotiate. You must learn to listen to the whisper of your shadow, not as a voice of evil, but as a voice of truth. It holds all the parts of you that were deemed unacceptable by the world: the rage, the lust, the hunger for dominance. These are not weaknesses to be destroyed, but raw data, raw, unfiltered wisdom about who you are and what you are capable of. The negotiation is a silent one. You don't make a deal with it to become a villain. You make a deal to become whole. You promise to stop running. You promise to listen. In return, your shadow promises to stop screaming. It promises to give you access to a depth of power and insight that the man you built could never have imagined. It's a terrifying bargain, but it's the only one that leads to true strength. You are not fighting your nature, you are finally learning to wield it. And in that silent bargain, you will finally understand the profound and terrifying truth that your power was never about what you wanted, but what you were willing to accept. The true liberation isn't finding what you want, but realizing you were never meant to have it, and finding power in that silent understanding. For a man, freedom has always been defined by what he can take, what he can possess, what he can conquer. But that is the hunter's freedom, and you now know that a hunter is always a slave to the hunt. His very identity is defined by the chase, but this is a different kind of freedom. This is the freedom of the predator who has no need to chase. The moment of quiet liberation is not loud. There are no trumpets, no roaring crowds. It is a slow, quiet descent into a profound and terrifying peace. It is the moment you look at the goals you spent a lifetime pursuing, the status, the woman, the respect, and you realize they are not mountains to be climbed, they are mere signposts, placed there to keep you walking in a straight line. You are free not because you have won the game, but because you have finally decided to stop playing. You are no longer a hunter, you are a witness. You can observe the world with a cold, clear eye. You can see the strings on other men and know that they, too, are running a race they can never win. You can watch the women who use their magnetism as a weapon, and you feel no anger, no lust, but a quiet, chilling understanding of the game. Your power is no longer defined by your ability to take, but by your ability to see. You are no longer controlled by the need for validation, because you have made a different bargain. You have accepted the shadow, and in return, it has given you a peace that the world can never touch. The world will tell you that this is a weakness, that to stop wanting is to stop living. But what they don't understand is that the man who wants nothing is the one who can no longer be controlled. He is the one who is truly free. He has nothing to lose, because he has already lost the lie he built his life upon. He has nothing to gain, because he has already gained the ultimate prize, the silence of his own mind. And when you finally face the man in the mirror, you'll see that the hunter you thought you were was never what you were truly meant to be. When you finally face the man in the mirror, you'll see not the king you tried to be, but the predator who was always there, waiting for you to stop running. The lie you have lived has been an act of denial. You were told to be a builder, to be a gentleman, to be a provider, but beneath the surface of every man, there is something older, something colder. Something that is not concerned with titles or positions, but with survival, with truth, and with an unwavering, primal power. This is not evil, this is nature, this is the man you were before the world got its hands on you. This dark wisdom is not a call to be cruel, it is a call to be honest. The predator is the part of you that can read the intentions of others without words. It's the part of you that sees the game for what it is, without sentiment or illusion. It is the silent, watchful guardian of your own self. When you were living the lie, you were a child playing in a field, believing it was all a game of fun. The predator has been watching from the edge of the woods, silent, knowing the dangers were real. You thought your strength was in your ambition, but your real strength lies in your acceptance of this raw, untamed part of you. The king you tried to be was a brittle, fragile thing, dependent on the validation of others. The predator you discover is self-sufficient. He needs no one's approval. He knows his own power, and he knows his own truth. He does not seek respect, he commands it. He does not seek lust, he inspires it. He does not seek power, he embodies it. This is the final understanding, the end of the chase. You were not searching for a prize in the outside world. You were searching for the man who was already inside. Tonight, when you face your reflection in the glass, the man who has been living your life will finally be gone, and in his place, a quiet clarity, a profound and unsettling stillness. You will see not the king you were told to be, but the truth you have been hiding from. You will see the silent, watchful animal, the dark wisdom, the part of you that never left. Tonight, when you face your reflection, you'll see the part of you they told you to kill, but it never left. Tonight, we've walked through the silent corridors of your own mind. We've seen the puppets and the puppeteers, the lie you built and the truth you buried. The journey doesn't end here, it begins now, in the quiet moments when you are finally alone with yourself. You are no longer blind. You can now see the world for what it is, and you can see the man who was always waiting inside you. Use this knowledge not to conquer others, but to liberate yourself from the strings you never knew were there. If you're ready to continue this descent into forbidden wisdom, if you're ready to learn what most men will die without ever knowing, then I invite you to join us. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment one word below that describes the man you just met inside the mirror.